Miller, thank you for joining us on a Monday. It's good to be with you. We're in downtown Charlottesville in our building, the Macklin building, in our favorite place we call home, Charlottesville, Virginia. The show takes topics that are national and localizes them, and then it takes local topics and really unpacks them and takes a deep dive and really asks the question, why? That's kind of the essence of this show. We ask the question, why, and we try to answer it. If you look at the screen now, you'll see the headlines we're talking about today. We'll talk Bed Bath & Beyond, and you've probably turned the news on today and you've seen that Bed Bath & Beyond, the beleaguered home goods retailer, is filing for bankruptcy. In fact, it did it over the weekend. It filed for bankruptcy. So I asked the question, why? How is this going to impact Charlottesville? How is this going to impact our home? Bed Bath & Beyond has 36,450 square feet in Barracks Road Shopping Center. 36,000 plus square feet in the number one shopping district in a 300,000 person market. What does Federal Realty do with this shopping center if this store in fact closes? Harris Teeter's got the largest footprint in Barracks Road, 50,000 square feet. Kroger is the second largest, and Kroger is right behind Barracks Road, 48,896. Call it 49,000 for Kroger. The third largest one in Barracks Road Shopping Center is Bed Bath & Beyond, 36,450 square feet. That's a massive space to fill. And as Deep Throat, one of our favorite listeners, said in a direct message to me, it's an odd layout as well. It's narrow, it's deep, and there's only frontage on one side of the building, and it's hard to slice up a space like that. You have to fill a space that's basically 36,450 square feet if this place shuts down. And who benefits from this? Happy Cook benefits from this. I see Steve and Monique a handful of times a week. Love Steve and Monique's family, and I love what this family stands for from a small business standpoint. They own the Happy Cook. You would think if Bed Bath & Beyond closes down in Barracks Road, that's going to be only incremental revenue for the Happy Cook. Remember, they beat up Williams-Sonoma in Stonefield and shut down the national chain Williams-Sonoma, the Happy Cook did. Bed Bath & Beyond closes, more potential business for something local like the Happy Cook. I also want to throw the pickleball idea out there. I've said it on this program. I said it last week. I've said it many weeks before. This 300,000 person market could undoubtedly support a for-profit indoor pickleball epicenter, one like Meg Charity was trying to launch in Richmond. She's currently doing it in Charlotte. It's called Rally. I talked about this last week, an 18-court epicenter coming to a former Macy's in the Richmond area. Why not take the Bed Bath & Beyond, 36,450 square feet, and see if you can turn this into a pickleball epicenter? Sports bar meets pickleball. 15 to 18 courts. You pay for court time. You do it on date night. You do it for a family activity, a friend activity. You do it inside. You do it under lights in a controlled weather environment. You have beers on tap. You have wine. You have sports bar food. You have TVs everywhere. The concept would crush it. You get 250 active players at Boar's Head. You probably have 200 active players at Greencroft. You probably have 150 active players at Farmington. You probably have somewhere like 500 active players at the Central Virginia Pickleball Club. Those are just that we know of. You probably have another additional couple thousand players in Central Virginia. I would bet you the market for this concept is 4,000 to 5,000 people. It would crush it. It would crush it. Regardless, you're looking at a potential huge hole in Federal Realty's Barracks Road Shopping Center with Bed Bath & Beyond. Everyone saw this coming. And you know the next one to come? And you may disagree with me on this. I'll weave you in on a two-shot. I'll say good afternoon, Judah Witkower. The next one to come to Barracks Road is the fourth largest store there. The number one largest store is Harris Teeter. Harris Teeter at 50,000 square feet. Judah, I think you and I both think that Harris Teeter is safe for an extended period of time. I don't think the grocery delivery business is going to cannibalize in-store grocery purchases yet. Grocery delivery will, however, eventually cannibalize in-store grocery purchasing, just like every other retail has been cannibalized. Okay? That's not going to happen anytime soon. Harris Teeter, 50,000 square feet, Barracks Road, that's going to stay there for an extended period of time. Kroger, Judah, at 49,000 square feet, the second largest one, that'll stay there for an extended period of time. They're great complements, Kroger and Teeter. Kroger, a little bit of a value shopper, Teeter, a little bit more of an elevated shopper. The third largest one, J-Dubs, is Bed Bath & Beyond, 36,450 square feet, beleaguered and over the weekend filed for bankruptcy. Do you know what the fourth largest one store in Barracks Road is? What's the fourth largest store, viewers and listeners, in Barracks Road Shopping Center? Number 1, Teeter. Number 2, Kroger. Number 3, Bed Bath & Beyond. What's number 4? You got this.
Michael's?
There it is. If Bed Bath & Beyond's not cutting it, why is Michael's going to make it? Are we going to make the legitimate argument that Michael's has a framing department, and because of its framing department, it's going to help Michael stay afloat? Are we going to make a legitimate argument that Michael's is more of a crafting store, and because it's more of a crafting store, people like the textile of going into a store when it's crafting and touching what they're going to buy because they're going to craft with it later? Are we going to make a legitimate argument that the experiential nature of Michael's is going to keep this business afloat? Or are we going to be truly realistic that Michael's is a year, couple years, whatever you want to call it, from following Bed Bath & Beyond and its fate? Do we honestly think a crafting store at 30,000 square feet, the fourth largest in Barracks Road, is going to make it at this place for a long period of time?
That's a tough one. I mean, Michael's is another big brand. I don't know. I haven't heard about how they're doing nationally, but yeah, sadly, being something of an artist, it's a shame that
you are an artist. You're a talented artist. I don't think you're something of an artist. I've seen you are a talented artist. This guy, a lot of people don't realize this. I'm going to brag on Judah here. Savannah College of Art and Design, that's where his degree's from. The guy has a tremendous talent for painting, for sketching, for various forms of art, for framing. The guy's just fantastically creative. The creative nature, the textile and crafting nature of Michael's, maybe it has a little bit longer future because of that.
Well, I was going to say it's sad that we lost the art supply store over by the university. So I don't know how much of a life that Michael's has here in town.
What's the art supply store over by the university? Dylan's Rule on Twitter, hello. What's that?
I mean, it isn't. It's gone now.
There was one? Which one?
I mean, it's been gone for a few years now. It was. I think there's probably a hotel in its place now.
On the corner?
Not right on the corner. It's like just off. It's before you get to that last light before you go onto the bridge. It was off. I mean, if you're heading up Main Street towards UVA, it was on the left. I don't know how to explain it since it's all gone now. But yeah, there was an art store there, an art supply store. I used to go there for whatever I needed, whether it was brushes or paper or canvas or paints. I mean, they had all kinds of stuff. It was a great little place. I'm assuming they just weren't didn't have enough people come walking in the doors on a regular basis.
Studio art.
And
Nora Gaffney says it's called Studio Art.
Studio Art. Yeah, I mean, that sounds right. It was it had, what was it? If I remember correctly, it had like maroon slats across the windows. Maybe I can find a picture of it. Studio Art.
Well, no, don't get distracted on this. Make your point here.
But
what's your point?
The point is that that went out of business. Michael's, I don't know how much.
There's no way Michael's future is bright at 30,000 square feet in Barracks Road Shopping Center. At the price per square at Barracks Road, Michael's is effing hemorrhaging. What's the order you go to Michael's? And anyone who goes to Michael's, how much you spending in Michael's? For one thing, when we go to Michael's, my family, it's A, few and far between. B, it's often with a coupon. And C, it's always the last-ditch thought going to Michael's. It's always 2 or 3 other places before we go, oh, I bet Michael's will have it. Maybe we're doing like a school project where we're looking for those foam balls so we can build a planetary system. How many moms and dads watching this program have had to buy various sizes of foam balls at Michael's to create some kind of universe for their child's school science class? Jesus, how many science classes are keeping Michael's craft store in business with those various sized foam balls? That's the extent of what I've purchased, I think, at Michael's. Does anyone think an arts and crafts store needs 30,000 square feet in the most expensive shopping district in a 300,000 person market? Or does everyone realize, like I realized, that Michael's is the next shoe to fall in these big shopping centers? And here's a legitimate question for you. And are we putting the lower thirds on screen for what we're talking about?
No.
We now have multiple viewers and listeners reminding us to do this. Bill McChesney says the Draftsman Hotel is where that art store was located that Judah was talking about.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, viewers and listeners. We've all seen the leisure and the convenience and the luxury and the efficiency and the approachability of Instacart or grocery delivery. If the digital nature, if ordering groceries becomes so approachable and so ubiquitous with devices, with phones, I mean, because once you get an order in on some of these devices, it saves your order for you. So now all you have to then go is click reorder. And then all the stuff that you bought is already in the cart again. And then you just go pick it up or get delivered.
If you buy that stuff every week, yeah.
I mean, generally families do, though. I mean, generally families are buying the same stuff every week. Here's my point. We made the argument, and you see this with Starbucks on West Main Street. Starbucks on West Main, where the Pizza Hut used to be, they have a pickup location only. It's only for orders you do on your phone, and you pick up the order only. It's not an inside location. Pickup only. Why would that not be the future of groceries?
Right, because who wants to deal with you?
Who wants to deal with the process of going to a grocery store for an hour and change? They're already taking away the idea of bagging groceries for you. You're now bagging your own groceries. You're now going through your own shopping lines yourself and having to swipe the items yourself. It's
some places.
Most places. It's absolute chaos in a grocery store. This is my point. The future of grocery in a Class A place like Barracks is not great. The future of grocery is probably a warehouse or some kind of Class C space, and people then go up and park their cars in front of it, and the groceries get delivered to their cars right outside the Class C space, or they get delivered to their door from Walmart or Amazon or some kind of delivery service. So what's the future of these major shopping centers without groceries as the internet and as phones eventually cannibalize the in-person experience? I mean, how the hell is Barracks Row going to replace 50,000 square feet Harris Teeter, 49,000 square feet Kroger, 36,000 square feet Bed Bath & Beyond, and 30,000 square feet Michael's? That right there is I'm doing quick math, and this is just a rough number, 166,000 square feet? With 4 stores, with odd layouts, limited frontage.
If they all emptied out next week, that would be a major hit to the company. But,
right?
But you're right. The
grocery ain't going to happen anytime soon.
Right.
Michael's future, I'm not bullish on.
I think it all depends on how much their corporate is willing to pay to keep their various spots open.
Federal Realty, publicly traded company. You can buy a piece of the company today if you like. Logan Wells Claylow watching the program right now. Logan, Thank you for watching. Nora Gaffney says she really misses that store, Judah. It had so much.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was
great.
besides the Kane Furniture on West Main Street.
Yeah. It was a great little spot. It was a shame when we lost it.
So if you're just tuning into the program, Bed Bath & Beyond filed for bankruptcy over the weekend. We are wondering what the future is of their location in Charlottesville and Barracks Road. They have 36,000 square feet. It's the third largest store in Barracks Road Shopping Center. Number one, 50,000 square feet, Harris Teeter. Number two, 49,000 square feet, Kroger. Number three, 36,450 square feet, Bed Bath & Beyond. And number four is Michael's at 30,000 square feet. Next topic, if you want to get the lower third up there, with Doma Kitchen. Doma Korean Kitchen is for sale. The asking price is $449,500. There are some photos from one of the links that I sent you, J-Dubs. It's the second to last link on the bottom. That if you can get any of the photos on screen and then give me a thumbs up when they are. Doma is damn good. Has anyone been to Doma Korean Kitchen that's watching this show? My wife loves this place.
The interior's on screen.
All right, so we got photos on screen of Doma Korean Kitchen that's currently for sale. The listing just went active. The asking price is $449,500. Gross revenues at this location, $1,335,055. Gross revenues of over $1.3 million. The rent is very reasonable, $2,300 a month for the rent for Doma Korean Kitchen on West Main Street. $2,300 a month, the rent. That's very reasonable. Some inventory is purchasable. The building is just under 1,700 square feet. The lease expires in 2031, so you have 8 years plus on your lease. Currently, it's being run with 5 employees. 5 employees. Seller financing, potentially, but you're going to have to put up a sizable down payment. You rotating those photos on there?
There's only one photo.
Thank you. John Blair on LinkedIn. Welcome to the show. Thanks, J-Dubs. Doma's good. Have you had a chance to have Doma? It's good. They have various bowls. They serve these bowls in these... The bowls are served extremely hot, and then the ingredients are layered in the bowls. You mix them up. The bowl cooks the ingredients as you're eating them. The bowl is so hot. The flavor profile is fantastic. A lot of spice with the menu. The ambiance and the feel for the restaurant are very creative. Doma Korean Kitchen for sale, $449,500 asking price. All right, next lower third as we go through some news today on the show. A Charlottesville real estate firm bought an industrial warehouse complex in the Richmond area. Last month, BMC Holdings purchased an industrial complex at 1320 School Street in Richmond's north side for $3.3 million. BMC Holdings is a jack of all trades in the real estate business. It was founded in Charlottesville in 2008. BMC is a real estate developer, investor, and property manager. The owner and founder of the company is a gentleman named Robbie Knoll. Robbie Knoll and his company BMC own 40 properties throughout Central Virginia and the Southeast. He says each of these properties is in the $2 to $10 million range. He likes the industrial and warehouse space, which he just purchased for $3.3 million, 1.6 acres, 48,000 square feet, a 123-year-old building for $3.3 million. He likes this type of real estate because he says it's few and far between, and we're seeing that. Are we on a two-shot? This guy, Robbie Knoll of Charlottesville, who owns a company called BMC Holdings, a Charlottesville-based company. He owns 40 properties. Those properties range from $2 million to $10 million each. So this man's got a sizable holding. Sizable real estate holdings. He says he's going after industrial and warehouse space in urban rings in various markets in the Commonwealth. He straight up has identified a shortage of industrial and warehouse space in the urban ring.
Well, we just talked about what happens when people stop going to the grocery stores, and when they stop going to the grocery stores, you need warehouses. You need somewhere to put all that food if someone's going to deliver it to you.
This quote resonated with me from the article. This was in Richmond Biz Sense. You can find this guy's on Richmond Biz Sense. This really resonated with me. When we started BMC, this is Robbie Knoll, the owner of the company, talking. When we started BMC, most of our product was student housing near UVA, but we've branched off from that quite a bit. Now it's mostly commercial. We are exceedingly bullish on this type of warehouse and industrial complex type of property. We feel there's a growing scarcity of industrial properties, especially within the urban ring. It's not the pretty side of real estate, but we stick to what works well. I also heard that from a lot of the guys that do brewing, making beers, that they can't find enough space to brew beer in the urban ring. And I want somebody to think about this. If you were to think about Charlottesville City and the Albemarle County urban ring, how many warehouses can you name? There's so few, right?
Yeah.
Where would you find warehouses in Charlottesville City or the urban ring? So if we're like Judah said, and you said something extremely intelligent, if we're heading to this place where all our shopping is done digitally or on our phone, and then either delivered to us or we go to a location to pick it up, then that what's the word I'm looking for? Is it the nexus where all the stuff is delivered from? The starting point?
The hub?
Hub, thank you. That hub has got to be located centrally for people to go to it or to optimize the delivery process.
That's what Amazon has been doing. I mean,
right.
That's why they contact cities and ask for all their information and decide whether or not they've got the best tax write-off deal or the best no taxes deal to buy a warehouse or warehouses there. And basically, I mean, it's not really that great it's not nearly as good for the cities as they think it is when they first hear the deal coming. But yeah, if you're gonna deliver stuff all over the United States, you need little hubs all over the United States, unless you reasonably think you can transport something across the country.
And who wants to do that
in a day?
Right. And this guy's buying little hubs.
Yep.
You see how the talk show is all related with the topic matter that we try to put together for you? To lead the show, we talked about a national brand filing for bankruptcy over the weekend. We wondered what the future was of their location in Charlottesville, 36,000 square feet at the most expensive shopping district. And we highlighted how us as consumers have changed our habits from going into 36,000 square feet epicenters to buying stuff online, having it delivered to us, or waiting in our cars in the air condition outside the car as stuff is packed into our car by employees inside. Then we highlighted a local firm in Charlottesville that is buying up warehouse space in urban rings. Find me a warehouse in Charlottesville or Albemarle County's urban ring. Find me one that's open or for rent or vacant or purchasable. I bet you'd struggle to find that.
Yeah.
One of our clients is a custom home builder. We have a weekly conference call with this client every Tuesday and in-person meetings once a month at their office. He asked Judah and I to help them find commercial space for his custom home building company. He needed space for a handful of trucks and an opportunity to meet his clients. struggled to find a spot that met that criteria.
Yeah.
Love what this Robbie Knoll guy is doing at BMC. $3.3 million for a warehouse space on 1.6 acres. That's 123 years old, 48,000 square feet, in Northside Richmond. Love this concept, BMC. All right, a couple more topics here, J-Dubs. I found this intriguing, and I wanted to relay it to you as you put up the lower third. Nest Realty has a downtown office. It's now for rent. If you could show the photos of Nest Realty's office downtown and put the lower third on screen. Nest Realty on Garrett Street in downtown Charlottesville, on the building next to ACAC, the building behind South Street Brewery. It's a building in between the Ix Park and the downtown mall. They had Nest built a super sexy headquarters for their super sexy brand and real estate firm and their booming company. And it was downtown. It had offices, it had cubicles, it had a fish tank, it had bobbleheads of Nest Realty agents, it had branding, it had an open floor plan, the ceilings were removed. It was sexy. I mean, how Jonathan Kaufman and this team built this office, they spared no expense. It was a sexy build. That office is now for rent. Nest Realty's downtown office, 5,100 square feet, is for rent. 126 Garrett Street, 5,100 square feet of office space for lease, available immediately. You know what this tells me, Judah? Did you rotate the photos?
Yeah, put the first photo on.
Okay, if you want to rotate the photos of the inside of the office, is it just the one we have?
I can get some more.
No, it's fine. You just put the exterior up?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You know what this tells me? 5,100 square feet. The real estate firm doesn't need this.
Yeah.
Real estate firm doesn't need this.
Right.
Tell me, Nest Realty's now renting its downtown office, its headquarters in Central Virginia. Tell me a real estate firm in Central Virginia that has a sexy headquarters.
You're asking the wrong person.
That was more rhetorical.
Yeah.
More rhetorical. I think Sasha Farmer's got a great office on Ivy Road. I think Sasha Farmer, Sasha makes a lot of smart moves. Sasha Farmer does. And I think one of the many smart aspects of Sasha Farmer's brand and business is buying that office on Ivy Road. She took a residential, it was probably commercial before she bought it, and she put her firm there. It's got great drive-by traffic, very affluent customer base driving by there. I think that was a great move by Sasha. The point of what I'm saying is real estate firms are moving away from these Class A office spaces, just like every other industry is moving away from. And where they're moving to is stuff that like we're owning and managing, executive office space. An opportunity for you to get a 150 square foot office that looks really good and looks the part, that you can use for a short period of time, get in, get out, do your business and roll. 5,100 square feet, downtown Charlottesville, now for rent, available immediately. Yeah, Sasha does, Jamie Turner. 100% agree with you, Jamie Turner. Story House and Sasha, she's got a sexy office. And Bill McChesney, you're right, that's the old Gleason building, the Nest Realty office. And dude, I did a real estate transaction in there. I personally represented myself when selling my house in Redfields on Rockledge Drive. And what's her name? Erin Hall? Yeah, it's Erin Hall. Erin Hall was representing the buyers of the folks buying my house on Rockledge Drive. And I met Erin. She was a Nest agent. I think she's an associate broker. I met Erin at that office in downtown Charlottesville to sign the paperwork, to sign the contract. And that office is beautiful. I mean, it's slick, dude. It's slick. 5,100 square feet. I would not be surprised if that's chopped up, though. I would not be surprised if that 5,100 square feet by the landlord is chopped up into either two, 2,500 square foot offices or even three. I would not be surprised if that's chopped up into three. All right, you're still going to have to give us the Yiddish word of the day, and I'm going to get to viewer and listener comments. But before I get to viewer and listener comments, Tom Tom Festival was a smash success. Paul Byer, smash success. They had the beer garden. The only complaint from people with the beer garden was the beers were priced at $10. I understand $10 is a tough pill to swallow for people to drink a beer outside and walk up and down the downtown mall, but you got to remember the owners of the restaurants are having to put additional staff on to staff the outside point of sale for the beer. And they got to make some money. $10, come on. Tom Tom Festival, I'm bringing this up because the downtown mall had a weekend that it was packed from start to finish. There was not an iota or mention of violence. You got to change the lower third. Not an iota mention of violence. Everyone got along, police and citizens. People made money. People smiled. People partied during the day. People partied during the night. And they got up and they partied and they did it again. You had an open air beer garden. You had the downtown mall buzzing. You had people going in and out learning and loving and living. And it was great. And it's an opportunity for me on this microphone with this platform to say something positive about 8 blocks that I love dearly, and that's the downtown mall. So Paul Byer and your team, job well done. Tom Tom Festival, job well done. Charlottesville Police Department, job well done. Citizens of Charlottesville, job well done. Merchants of Charlottesville, job well done. Let's have more events like this that drive people downtown in an experiential setting. It's what we want, right? Anything you want to add on that?
No.
Job well done.
Yeah.
We give props and praise, and we're doing it right now. We got a Yiddish word of the day coming up. Hey, there's Peter Krebs. Hello, Peter. Good to see you. John Blair's got a comment, and then we'll get to the Yiddish word of the day. He says on LinkedIn, John Blair, as of 2013, only 3.23% of the land in Charlottesville is zoned industrial. This is one reason for a record scratch on the FLUM zoning ordinance. This lack of industrial land should be addressed. Here's the link to the study. Oh, thank you, John. As of 2013, only 3.23% of the land in Charlottesville is zoned industrial. That is minimal.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like this industrial warehouse space is so valuable.
Yeah.
Because people are going to still need that.
Mm-hmm.
They may not need the sexy boardroom, but they're going to need some kind of space to pack the stuff and to sell it. Yeah. Thank you, JB. Anything you want to add before we get to Yiddish word? Maria Marshall Barnes says Scottsville Tire Plant has been unoccupied since 2009. That may also have to do with the alleged asbestos in that tire plant and I would say the owner not putting much care into the building. Dr. Hurt, I'm not trying to throw shade on you. Love you, Dr. Hurt. Todd Rath of Blue Toad Hard Cider says Remax Rod Phillips in Crozet. Let's give him some props to Rod Phillips. Rod Phillips does do a good job with branding. Someone tell Rod Phillips I'm talking about him here. I'm giving him props. Rod Phillips understands the concept of branding. Rod Phillips is sponsoring the Pro Renata Music Hall. Rod Phillips has a sign promoting his business on Ivy Road. And Rod Phillips does as good a job as any agent I've seen of working like the tennis scene with his business. Rod, you do a hell of a job. You're welcome on the show anytime, Rod Phillips. What's the Yiddish word, J-Dubs?
The Yiddish word is nudnik.
What is it?
Nudnik.
Come again?
Nudnik.
Nudnik. What's a nudnik?
Nudnik is a pesty nagger.
A pesty nagger?
Yeah.
What's a pesty nagger?
Someone that nags you nonstop.
So Jerry was a nudnik when he kept pestering Judah to change the lower third to make sure it was on the topic we were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm nudnecking you.
Don't be such a nudnik.
Can I turn that into a verb? Nudnecking?
Maybe. If you want to, you could try.
Does the definition allow that?
I mean, this is Yiddish. They've got their own.
So we kind of make our own definition?
I don't know. I don't think you're allowed to just turn any Yiddish word into
a verb?
Yeah.
Well, can you kindly change the lower third to the Yiddish word of the day? Nudnik is spelled N-U...
D.
Okay.
N-I-K.
Nudnik means to be a pest.
Yeah.
Or persistent.
Pester.
A pester. Jerry was a nudnik when he constantly asked me to change the lower third on screen.
Yeah.
Is that a nudnik or a boss? There's a fine line between a nudnik and a boss.
Yeah. There is, well, I wouldn't say it's a fine line.
Oh, God, I love it.
Asking, what are you working on?
This is a good comment, right?
What are you working on?
This is a good.
What are you working on? What are you working on?
Are we there
Dude,
yet?
You leave for half the day.
Are we there yet?
I somehow managed to. Okay.
Jason Howard. Kroger and Harris Teeter are owned by the same company, by the way.
Yeah,
He says Kroger is buying Albertsons, which will create the largest grocery company in the nation.
Uh-oh.
To be FTC compliant, they will have to close or spin off hundreds of locations. No list has been floated yet, but who's to say one of those two at Barracks Road won't close to make the deal compliant? Jason Howard, king of Rio Road. Great comment. Hold on. Jason Howard. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Great comment. I'm going to relay that one again for the viewers and listeners. Kroger and Harris Teeter are owned by the same company, Jerry and Judah. Kroger is buying Albertsons, which will create the largest grocery company in the world, or excuse me, the nation. To be FTC compliant, they will have to close or spin off hundreds of locations. No list has been floated yet, but who's to say one of those two will not be in the Barracks Road Shopping Center? That's a great comment.
Yeah.
Bob Yarbrough says not only Barracks, there's another Kroger right down the street.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the Kroger that closes there. Because there is another Kroger right down the street.
Yeah. Literally.
Literally. So close. Those would be massive.
And that Kroger is right across the street from the Whole Foods and
a Giant and probably a Food Lion.
No.
But they do seem to spring up next to each other.
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
There's so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
We're over-groceryed. Are we not over-groceryed? I think I've done a show on this.
In some areas.
Well said. That's true. Because you're still saying there's food deserts.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're over-groceryed in the areas where we don't need to be over-groceryed, where everyone has cars where they can get to the grocery stores. Right. And then in the areas where people don't have cars, we have a serious lack of grocery. It's life, man.
Makes perfect sense, right?
It makes perfect sense. They put all the grocery stores in the one spot where everybody has vehicles to go around. But in the spots where no one has cars, they don't put any groceries for people to walk to.
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's perfect sense.
I mean, I've always thought the planning in Charlottesville was a little off, but
I
mean, you've got
all of us
roads that turn back on themselves and change names 3 times.
Yeah, look at this upzoning thing and how that's been handled.
Yeah,
but if we're too persistent with how we point out how poorly it's been handled, then we become a what?
Nudniks?
A nudniks. Then we're nudniks.
Maybe. I don't know.
Are we is good citizenship being? How do you say it? How do you spell it again?
How do I spell nudnik?
Yeah.
Nudnik.
Is Nudik?
N-I-K. Nudnik.
Is being a good citizen being a good nudnik?
No.
It's not?
No.
Why?
You're saying being a good citizen involves being a nag?
Being persistent with government.
I don't know if that falls under the umbrella of nudnickery.
You just turned... I thought you
wasn't
said,
an adjective.
I thought you said we know. I was trying to turn mine into a verb. What you did, that was an adverb. That was an adverb, what you just did.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh, God, that was so funny.
Besides, I'm half Jewish. I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah. Are you not allowed to, are we not allowed to talk about Yiddish words?
I am.
Stop. You're so ridiculous. So ridiculous. That's the Monday edition of this fine and fair talk show.
I want to add one other thing, though.
Oh, that's rare. That's rare.
You mentioned earlier about, I think it was in reference to the Tom Tom Festival and there being no tomfoolery, no violence or anything like that. You know, we spend episode after episode talking about violence in Charlottesville and gunshots, and I see stuff on online on social media about basically making a joke of the how many days since like workplace accident, except how many days since somebody heard a gunshot in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
It's been quite a few days.
I know.
And we tend to come down
you're going with this.
Pretty hard on certain portions of the city when things are not going the way that we like. But I don't hear a whole lot of praise when things are going well.
Well said. God. Judah.
So, I think some praise is in order.
Chief Conscious.
Yeah.
Let's give him some. You want to start there?
Yeah. Let's praise
go.
Chief Conscious. Let's praise the...
Do we chant his name?
The
Chief
men
Conscious.
Chief Conscious.
Chief Conscious. That was great. Keep going.
Let's praise also the men and women in blue.
Men and women in blue.
Who work
Men and women
hard.
in blue.
And the best type of, what would you call it, government employee is the type that you never notice.
Yeah. You know what I want from my city councilors? I say this all the time. I want my city councilors to be quiet, consistent, and in the background.
Yeah.
That's all I want from Charlottesville City Council.
Right.
Be quiet, be consistent, and be in the background.
Yeah.
You know the best kind of governance? The best kind of governance is the kind of governance that gets no attention and no accolades.
Yeah.
You know who the hero on a lot of times on the football field is? It might be the kicker who hits the game-winning kick, but what about the long snapper and the holder who snapped the ball and held the ball for the game-winning kick?
Right.
The only time the long snapper or the holder gets any attention
is when they drop the ball.
It's when they screw up.
That too often that's the way it is in every sector. You hear about it because there's a problem.
Because they screw up.
But when there's no problems, does anybody ever say, hey...
What's the long snapper's name?
Long Snapper Jones.
Long Snapper Jones.
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Exactly. No one knows. No one knows. Why does no one know? They only know when he screws up.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about Chief Conscious.
Right.
Things are going great.
He must be doing something right.
He must be doing something right. We haven't been talking about Chief Conscious. He's doing something right. Well said, Judah. That's a perfect way to close. Excellent closing, my friend. Jerry Miller and Judah Witkower on the I Love CVille Show. We're back tomorrow. Have a good afternoon.